Welcome to another Leadership with Vince, where we take complex issues and provide healthy leadership simplified. Today, I want to talk about protecting the asset. And what do I mean by that? Well, here recently, I turned 35 years old. And I know for some of you, it's like, oh, he's a young boy. Others are probably saying he's old as dirt. Listen, I remember when I was 18 and it feels like yesterday. I drive in the car and they say we're playing a throwback jam. And that throwback jam, I can remember when it first came out on the radio. Time is moving. But as I've turned 35, my mindset has shifted to begin to think about what type of legacy do I want to leave? What type of life do I want to live? And the most important asset in our life is ourself. We are the one who's going to get out of bed every day and make strides toward our future, make strides toward our dreams. But we have to do what it takes to take care of this body that we have. We only have one. Now, one thing I noticed is that in my late teens and early 20s and into my 30s, I prided myself on being an extremely hard worker. In fact, my wife enjoyed the fact that I was a hard worker. But one thing about relationships is the thing that we love about the person that we're with is also at times the thing we can't stand about the person that we're with. And quite honestly, I became a workaholic. Now, I'm not going to ask you all to identify if you're a workaholic, but if this sounds like you, then let me know in the comments. Not only was I a workaholic, someone who, even when I was off, I couldn't help but to think about the next project, the next task when I got back to work, but I often added more to my plate than I had the capacity to facilitate. It left me doing a lot of things mediocre and nothing really well. I had so many ideas and so many dreams and so many visions of grandeur, but nothing really ever materialized because I wasn't focused and strategic in my efforts. But I realized that, hey, Vince, you're almost 40. What are you going to do with your life? And I realized I got to take care of my physical body. I've got to eat better. I've got to exercise more. But most importantly, I've got to rest. Some of us are what I call functional workaholics, where we sleep just enough to function. So we don't have a set bedtime. We don't have a set minimum number of hours that we need to sleep. We sleep when we can, but then we get up and we're not really our best self. We're self-medicated through caffeine, through sugars. And so our mind is not operating at the most optimum level that it could possibly be. Studies have shown that if you only sleep 4 to 5 hours a day for a week, for a period of time, that you're operating similar to a person who is driving under the influence. Now, none of us want that. But I want to pose a question to you, and that is, how can we work smarter and not harder? We need to evaluate what season of life are we in, especially if you started from the very bottom of the rung in the corporate ladder and you begun to work your way up. You had to pride yourself on being the one to work the hardest. But sometimes for 20, 30 years, we've been operating the same way, not realizing that the season of our life has shifted. Therefore, how we accomplish our goals needs to shift too. We have to ask ourselves, in this season of life, am I a worker bee? Or do I need to begin to make the transition where I'm being compensated based off of the intellect, the wisdom, and the experience that I've acquired? Sometimes we need to take a step back and evaluate all that we've done up to this point in our life and say, you know what? I'm worth the opportunity to share my wisdom with others. So how can I begin to work at being more efficient in what I do? I want to leave you with this thought, and really another question that just take some time to think about. How can I make process improvements in order to increase my level of productivity and efficiency? You'll realize when you're able to take a step back and evaluate what you're doing, that there's a better way many times that things can be done. So don't be afraid to embrace new ways in this new season of your life so that you can leave a legacy for everyone else to continue to benefit from. Hey, this is another Leadership with Vince. Can't wait to see you next time.